Good evening, Viral Vibes family. Tonight, we are finishing up this Michelle BLAIR case. Let me turn my mic up. Yeah, we're going to finish it up today. It's a very long, oh Lord. We can go up to 24 hours just talking about Michelle BLAIR. I need to say her name correctly. So today, we're at part 3, the finale. We are breaking down the courtroom confession. If you're just joining us, let me just quickly get you up to speed. Who she is. Michelle BLAIR is the Detroit mother whose 2 children were found inside a freezer in 2015 after a landlord performed a welfare check. Investigators uncovered prolonged abuse, starvation. She was arrested, charged with multiple counts, including first-degree murder. Ultimately she entered a guilty plea. She really was confessing from day one. I don't even know why they went to court. I don't even know why they had a trial. I don't understand why in the interrogation room when she said I did it and I deserve this punishment, why didn't they just say, okay, go to jail? But no, this dragged on for years. So she was sentenced to life in prison without parole. So tonight we are focusing specifically on the confession, what she admitted to court and how she said it. Let me tell you something. She's wild. She was a beautiful girl before she lost her mind. So I just wonder what happened to her. Because prior to this, she had the 4 children and she was a gorgeous lady. Whatever. Okay, let's keep going. And what it reveals about the accountability, the remorse, and the justice. So before we begin, this case involves child abuse and child deletion. So viewer discretion is advised. So if something is triggering you and you've been through something like this, you may not want to be on this case. Come back tomorrow. I'm just saying. Now let's talk about what happened in that courtroom. Let's get ready to get into it. Okay, you guys. So first, let me I gotta do my little fair use, but let's keep going with this a little bit right here. So the bodies discovered in the freezer was after Miss Rent. So what she did was she ended up, all her baby daddies were in jail. So this is how these kids fell through the crack when it came to their family and school and all this stuff. So she had it planned out. So the children dads were in prison. The family, no one knew this. So when the family would call and say, oh, can we get the kids? And oh no, they're with their dads, they're with their dads. So she kept doing that year after year after year. Like, oh no, she's on vacation or the kids are doing this. But that was not the case. That was not the case. What happened to these children showed evidence of long-term abuse and starvation. Being that she pleaded guilty, she was arrested and charged. She got life without parole. So let me do this. Fair use notice. This broadcast may contain copyrighted material used under Section 107 of the Copyright Act for purpose of commentary, criticism, and news reporting. Also, investigative legal disclaimer. This content is based on publicly available records and media reports. All individuals discussed are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in the court of law. Commentary reflects opinion and analysis for informational purposes only. And everything on this channel is my opinion. Okay, you guys. So let's get ready and get into this. Let me put myself closer to you because I like to be close to you guys. I'm gonna put a little closer. Let's get a little closer. All right, let's get into it. Okay, let's blow this up. Let's get going, guys.
What did you do to Stony Blair that makes you guilty of premeditated murder?
She raped my son. I intentionally killed her.
How did you do that?
Starting from the beginning, when I found out about what Stony was doing, it was 9 months later after finding out about Stephen. So for the whole 9 months we were in the house, she was still raping my child. I did not know that. When I first found out, after told me, I took a minute because I was not understanding, that she did that to him. But I repeatedly punched her. On many occasions, my son, I told him to tell me every single thing she did to him. So as he was telling me more and more things that she did. I assaulted her every time he told me what she did to him. By assault, I mean I punched her. I have put
Now, let me just throw out there that none of the allegations that she is stating ever was founded. I mean, through autopsy, nothing. Only thing that was found was the abuse that these children endured by her hands. That was it. Nothing else.
Put a bag over her head till she lost consciousness. I threw hot water on her, scalding hot water from the faucet.
Did you hit her in the head with a wooden
Yes,
stick?
I hit her on her head multiple times, over and over.
Was that shortly before she died?
That was actually days before she died and the day she died.
Okay.
I hit on her back. It's like with her tailbone. I kicked her.
Okay, I just want to clarify a few things. And perhaps you don't know, but did this happen on or about May 25th, 2014? To the
May
best of your
May
recollection?
25th is actually the day she died. Well, the day I killed her.
And you said you killed her by putting a grocery bag over her head?
Yes, that day would tell me different things because he was doing this to him for years, and I did not know that. You get what I'm saying? And I didn't find out till 9 months later. She had started with Steve.
Okay, let's talk about this. This is a discussion. I wish more people would get inside of this chat because the lady didn't work. She hadn't worked for 2 years. She said this happened in between a 9-month span where these children were pulling each other off the bed. They were biting each other. They were, horrific allegations. Okay? I don't know how many of us are stay-at-home mom. Let me phrase that. Not a stay-at-home mom, but work from home. I've been working from home almost 20 years now. I can hear a mouse fart in this house when I'm in this house. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. The kids, what's going on up there? Did she not ask questions? What? I don't understand what was the motive behind this. I don't think we'll ever get that answer. But I can't believe, and mind you, she lived in a 3-bedroom apartment. So it wasn't like she was in a big, giant house where the kids could go somewhere off to the side. They're in a 3-bedroom flat. They from up north. No, they're from Detroit. Detroit reminds me of up north where they have the level houses where you have first floor, second floor, third floor. So that's what she lived in. So how she was able to not hear this, I don't know. Let's get back into this, you guys.
She ruined my son, okay? She started with Steven before he even started. So, yes, I put a bag over her head, but it got worse that day. Yes, I did. It got worse that day because she would tell me how she would take her pad, her menstrual pad, and squeeze her blood out in his mouth, okay? And it was over with after that.
Ladies, wait a second. She said that this little girl, now mind you, she's 11 at this time, because time no one passed. It's like she's 11. And she took her menstrual pad and put it in. That little girl need to go to the doctors. What is going on? What's it, fibroids, endometriosis? What is going on with this little girl? God, this lady is insane.
It was over with.
You meant to kill her?
I definitely meant to kill her.
Okay. Wasn't an accident?
No, not at all. If I had a chance to do it again, I would.
When you went and got the grocery bag and suffocated her, that was your intent?
Yes. She was standing in the bathtub. I was throwing hot water on her.
I think I might be stuck, y'all. I don't see nothing moving. Let me look at my phone. We are stuck. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Let's go back. Okay.
My son was standing to my right outside the bathroom door, and he was telling me everything he was telling me. I looked at her, and I'm like, "You did this?" And she was like, "Yes." So I actually had a stick, and I was hitting her in the head. Every time he told me something, hit her very hard in her head, and I was throwing hot water on her. And when I actually took her out of the bathroom, I took her back in her room, and I just kept staring at her, and I said, excuse my language, to him, just like, you know, I'm constantly asking her. She kept saying, I hate him. And I'm like, you hate him? You know? And she admitted to me that she hated Steven. She hated everybody. And I'm asking her why. She says, everybody always think so cute. And I'm like, so you brother, because you get what I'm saying. So I meant to. I definitely meant to. And I do not feel any remorse for what I did to Stoney, because she had no remorse for what she did to my son. And it's not only raped him, she gang raped him with Steven. We're all sitting on the floor, and he was telling me, this is how I found out about both of them doing it together. But it was too late. Steven was gone. But told me that Stoney would actually make him sit there while, in his words, her and Stoney did the nasty stuff, and then they did it to him. And
so this was your way of inflicting punishment?
Definitely.
Okay. Okay. Where did that happen?
What?
Where did
The death?
Her actual death?
Yes. Not the location of the house. Where did you live at the time?
Oh,
Okay.
Is that in the city of Detroit?
yes.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Go ahead.
can we ask Ms. BLAIR if she ever actually saw or witnessed any of these acts with regard to Stoney or Steven?
Okay. Yeah. Did it?
Now, mind you guys, out of all the allegations, and listen, go back to 1 and 2. There had to be over 100 allegations. She never laid eyes on one thing. She never physically saw anything. I just think this lady just snapped. She needed help where she couldn't get help, and I really just believe that's what happened to her. Some things you just can't explain because it's the unexplainable. It just is what it is.
Did you ever actually see anything of any sexual abuse of any kind between either Steven and Stoney?
I reject her question, but I will answer it, because no one will say that this did not happen, because it actually did.
I just want to have a clear record. Because so far, all you've told me was that you just heard it. Did you ever
And
actually
that they
see it?
admitted it. No, I did
Okay,
not. You
okay.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I
But
understand.
as I went back in my head and thought back to all the many things that was wrong with you over the years, and I'm like, that's what was wrong with you? He'll use the bathroom and say, Mom, my butt hurts when I poop. I don't know. So I started giving him 100%
Constipation!
stool softer, maybe, to help him use the bathroom. That
What?
wasn't the problem. It wasn't his stool. It was that he was being raped. Okay? My son looked me in my eyes, and he gave me a very detailed account of everything they did. Was not a violent boy. He is a very sweet little boy. So for him to stand there and look at me and say, do it again, he was hurting. You know?
Okay.
At a certain point, I told him to stop talking. And I said, Stoney, you tell me what did to my son. And I said, if she say anything that's not right, tell me. She started telling me.
Let me tell you something. My mama, I remember admitting to something that I did not do because my mother was angry. And let me tell you something. I knew it was grass. And I'm like, I didn't do it though. And I kept telling, she just had it in her mind that I did it. And when she came home from work, she was going to spare the rod. So, you know, sometimes you do have that fear of your parents. And I believe that every child should have a little fear of your parents. I think you should fear your parents more than you fear police officers and all those things. If you fear your parents, you fear them in the house, and you're not going to get out and do crazy stuff. But so I don't disagree with that. And I don't disagree with spare the rod, spoil the child. Listen, ain't no spoiling the child. I do believe that there should be more wiggle room. You know, like back in the day, that's why the crime, I believe, is so much, because they have taken that out of the household. Because I got my butt tore up. My mama ain't play. Can't play with none of us. The only one she played with was my little brother. He didn't get nothing. But me and my sister, oh, I'm gonna tell you. And my brother turned out pretty decent. He ain't never been grounded. My brother would run away before you ground him. He's never been, but anyway, I'm a lot older than my brother, but back in my day, that just what it was. My grandfather would line all 7 of us up if we was at my grandma's house making noise or doing something. He'd line everybody up according to age, and everybody get it. Everybody would get it but me because I was the favorite. But anyway, but I'm just saying, but this right here, pure abuse and neglect. This right here ain't no joke. I feel so sorry for these babies.
Many things. And I also asked her, so why didn't Stephen tell me that when I asked him, did anybody do this to him? Why didn't he tell me that you did it to him? Because Stoney was going upstairs, beating Stephen's ass, threatening him. Basically, at a certain point, after I was hitting Stephen, I didn't want to look at him. I didn't want to look at him, so I told him to go to his room. When it came time to eat, I didn't want to take no food up, so I sent Stoney up because she volunteered, not knowing at that time that Stoney was raping either of them. But every time she went upstairs, I wouldn't have known if she hit him or not because I had put many bruises on him. So every time she went upstairs, she admitted to me that she was hitting him also, knocking the hell out of him, telling him, you better not tell her.
Oh, God, let's go back. Did you hear what she said? She couldn't tell whether or not the girl was beating her brother because she had beat him so much. She couldn't tell the difference between abusers in the name of Jesus. This is horrible. These poor children, I can't even imagine the fear, the depravity that oh my God, that they went through.
Nothing. You get what I'm saying?
I understand. When she admitted these things to you, were you always being physical with her?
The first time, no. We were sitting there.
Okay.
She denied it constantly. And I'm like, Stoney, you better tell me. Sitting here, he don't know nothing about it. He constantly, you get what I'm saying? Who would admit that? Who would admit that if they did not do it?
Okay. All right, tell me what happened to Stephen.
We have grown men take life in prison because they said they did something that they did not do. It happens all the time. Or they may not think their odds are for them. They think, okay, the odds are against me. I better take this 2 years and admit to this SA case so I can be out with my family in 18 months. It happens all the time. Fear is real. It's real. You know what, you guys? Do you think that she should they had even went through this process knowing that this woman has confessed to everything? Why are they putting her through this? Is it just the law that they got to go through this? Got to spend our taxpayer dollars? I don't freaking know.
Basically the same thing. Can I ask you a question first? The people standing behind this woman who just asked the question, is she trying to make it seem like this did not happen?
No. We just have to have a clear record.
Okay.
This is your time to talk. Go ahead.
All we're trying to do is just make sure that the record is clear. Okay. And so don't worry about what's behind you. Just do the initiation.
Right now, ma'am, this is just you choosing to plead guilty. The people do not have any sort of plea agreement.
Yeah, because
with you at
it's
all.
like I'm willing to take a polygraph test. It's like because I understand.
Give it
people
to
don't
her.
want to hear me, period. But I'm willing to take
Give it to her.
everything.
Let's take that
Tell me what happened to
polygraph.
Stephen.
Go to Steve Wilkos.
I came home one day. My daughter, my oldest, met me at the door, and she's like, "Mom, come see what he's doing with his dials." And I'm like, "What is he doing?" He was making one dial, his little wrestle man, up on top of the other. No, I'm like, "Why was you doing that?" I said, "Anybody ever do this to you?" He said, "No." I said, "Then why are you doing that?" And he said, "Yes, Stephen did." And I was like, so this is the first I'm hearing about that, period. This was 9 months before Stoney. Okay, Stoney wasn't downstairs, and she was always in the background. I wish to God I had questioned everybody together, but I didn't.
Would you say this was around August 30th, 2012?
No, this was before August 30th. August 30th is when he died.
Okay.
This was
When-
maybe a week and a half.
Before he died?
Yes.
Okay. So that telling you that set off some action?
Yes, I went
that you did
upstairs
to
because
Stephen
Stephen
Bud?
was upstairs in his room. And I went upstairs and I said, Stephen, you said you was humping on him. And then Stephen stood up and he looked at me, and right then I could tell something was wrong in his face, because he was just like this. Any normal kid, I know my kid would have been like, what? That's not what he did. He stood up and looked at me like he had lost his mind. Okay? And it just, hearing that from him had me up in my head, period. But I asked him, I said, Stephen, tell me the truth. Was you humping on? He said, yes, but that was all. And I said, did you hump on him with your underwear off? He said, no. He yelled out, yes, he did. And I just remember going in the hallway, walking back and forth, like, and I walked back up and I was like, you your brother? You get what I'm saying? You your brother. So I'm looking at them too. I'm looking at them like, what? I can't understand. So I start punching Stephen. You know, I'm like, what are you doing to him? I just start asking him questions. At this point, it's just spilling out. He's just spilling out. And Mom, and he's doing like this, and he do this thing almost every night. He tell me how he was, the reason I put bags over Stephen's head is because I thought he in the bed. My son was never a bedwetter. Didn't know.
We're going to say trigger warning again. If you are sensitive to this type of topic, this is not the place to be tonight. Come back tomorrow, because we finishing this off today. It's a lot. It's a lot. Let's go back into it.
It was Stephen waking up every morning, pissing on like he was a damn piece of shit, okay? They had bunk beds. Stephen would get out the bed in the middle of the night. You would rape him in his own bed. You would pee on him instead of going to the bathroom. I'm waking up every morning thinking he was a bedwetter. So we just wash him up and go, you a bedwetter.
Let's talk
So
about what you did to Stephen.
the reason I put bags over Stephen's head because my son told me that the plastic on his bed, because I thought he was a bedwetter, he said, sometimes, Mom, I couldn't breathe. Stephen was laying on me and he had my face down in the plastic on the bed. I couldn't breathe and he was humping on my butt like a basketball. That's when I got a garbage bag and started putting it over Stephen's head. And I started asking him, bitch, you know what I'm saying? You see what this feel like? You can't breathe? You stopping that's my son. You could not breathe on top of getting raped. You was 6 years old at the time. You get what I'm saying? So I put the bags over his head. He lost consciousness. I did that a couple times.
But we're going to put this out here right now. This is part 3. After she did what she did, the children were found. They went through the whole autopsy phase. There was nothing wrong with the kids. The only abuse that they found was the abuse of their mother. There was nothing internal, all this stuff that she's saying. She made it all up. Why she did it? They don't know. But those kids were not abusing each other. She worked for home for 2 years. She said this happened between a 4 to 9 month span. They lived in a 3-bedroom flat. She never saw it. She never heard it. She claims that the children admitted to it. And that's the only reason why she did what she did. No, you did what you did because you was crazy. Period. But just hearing it alone, even though I know because I did the research, go back and watch the first 2, I know, but just hearing it, it's just like, who comes up with this stuff? It's like, they should make a movie. Should be a movie. I want to play Michelle BLAIR. I want to play Michelle BLAIR. And my brother, you heard what I said about him earlier. My mama will do her thing, but not with him. He ain't get nothing.
He tell me that
No punishments.
would be face down. He had stuff around his neck. So I grabbed Stephen, I grabbed a belt and I put a belt around his neck and I lifted him up like, do you like how this feels, being choked with a belt? So I dropped him. I held him up until he lost consciousness as well.
I'm going to say this. I can stop this as much as I want. It's my channel. This is all about awareness. So even though these children weren't doing these things, the family members never stepped up and said, hey, where's my granddaughter? Where's my niece and my nephew? You know, she had made her family believe that they were always with their baby or their dads. She had 4 different baby daddies, allegedly. 4 different baby daddies, and they were in prison. So she would tell the family all the time, oh, they're with so-and-so, they're with their dads, they're on vacation with their dad. Oh, they're staying the summer with their father. That's how the oldest girl went so long without being detected, because she was spending the summer with her dad, but she wasn't. But I know for myself, my nieces and my nephews go missing. By week 2, if nobody answered that phone, I'm getting a flight to Florida and I'm kicking in the door. It is what it is. There's no waiting years. So I think that everybody that ignored this needs to be in a cell right next to her or right next to their baby daddies, because that's what needs to happen. Because I maybe a week. If I go, my dad, I promise you, called me yesterday and said, have you heard from your brother? I said, no, but I talked to the kids. He said, oh, I called him at 10 a.m. It's 1 o'clock. He didn't call me back. You see what I'm saying? That's family. Oh.
You were intending to,
No, I did not intend to kill Stephen.
no, I'm not, listen to my question. You were intending to inflict serious physical harm, but not kill him.
Definitely.
Okay. Did you also punch him?
Yes, I did. Multiple
also kick
times.
him?
Yes, I did.
You talked about choking him. Did you also burn him?
Yes, I did.
Okay, how did you do that?
Hot water, scalding hot water. In our bathroom, the hot water gets extremely hot. So, his private area, I stood him in the bathtub naked. You my son with your, you know? So yes, I threw hot water in his genital area multiple times. Multiple times. Every time Stephen peed in my son's eyes. He put his in his ears.
They did nothing, you guys.
He peed. Even told me one time, Mom, and in my eyes it was gooey, but it wasn't pee. And right then it was like, I didn't even know a 9-year-old could ejaculate. You get what I'm saying? So not only did you do that, you did it in my son's eyes. So my son had to go through all this shit. So yes, I threw hot water on him repeatedly.
Did that make him burn?
Yes, it did. His skin came off. His skin
Did
came
you
off.
drink Windex?
Yes, I did, because told me in the middle of the night he had took him in the basement and he made him drink the blue stuff from under the sink. And I'm like, what blue stuff? So I walked downstairs. He showed me what I said. You made drink Windex.
What we are watching is a woman unhinged. These children did none of these things at all. Absolutely nothing. And that's why she is serving life in prison without the possibility of parole. Because she did this just because she snapped. I think she should be in a mental institution, because anybody that can come up with these type scenarios is deeper than just, oh, you just a bad person, go to jail. No, this woman is snapped. And like I said, if you guys go back to part 2, because I wanted to go back and figure out, where did this woman come from? She was a beautiful lady. She dressed nice. She was, when did her mind fail her? I don't know.
And then I went back to like years before, and I'm like, is this what was wrong with him? I thought he had the stomach flu, where you vomit and have diarrhea. You get what, at the same time? At that time, this is what was going around. A lot of people had it, so this is what I thought had. He didn't. Stephen made him drink Windex. So yes, I made that boy drink Windex.
Okay, I'm just trying to clarify the record. Okay, again, you knew you were seriously harming him, but you didn't intend to murder him.
No.
Okay. But your actions ultimately caused his death.
Yes, they did.
Okay. Were you Stephen's mother?
Yes.
He was in your custody?
I don't claim him as my son now, and I do not claim Stoney as my daughter. I have 2 children. That's it. Stephen and
time he
Stoney
died?
are demons, period.
Listen to my question. At the time he died, he was in your custody or care?
Yes.
Okay. How old was he?
Stephen was 9.
And again, did this happen at your house in the city of Detroit?
Yes.
What you did to Stephen was punishment for what you did to is that right?
For what he did to
Sorry,
yes.
for what Stephen did to that was punishment. All
And
right.
if I had killed Stephen intentionally, I definitely would be proud to say I did. But I didn't. But I know all the things that I did to him, how I hurt him, I know it did cause his death. You know what I'm saying? It was like that day, the day that he died, I went in his room, it was throw up in front of him on the bed. I got him up. He said he had to go to the bathroom, but he couldn't use the bathroom. By the time we came out the bathroom, his breathing was crazy. Stephen usually has a strong heartbeat, but it was really faint, really, really faint. And then all of a sudden, he just started going like this, and I was holding him. We were both sitting on the floor, and I'm actually holding him up. He couldn't even hold himself. I'm like, Stephen, doing like this, because the day before that, I actually said I'm going to stop, because I looked in the room and like, he is toe up, you know.
Were you starving him at this time? as
No,
well?
I was not. I never starved him, and that's another thing that they're not understanding. He may have lost weight, but because they had their hands and they controlled him in every type of way, down to food. They would take his meat basically. We didn't always eat together. I thought him and Stephen was very close, so Stephen would manipulate me. Mom, can we eat up in our room? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I'm thinking that's.
I'll tell y'all, I find it very hard to believe that these people were sitting at a table and enjoying dinner together. No way. This lady is plumb insane.
That's were you.
What do you mean?
You weren't allowing them to sexually assault.
Wasn't allowing that.
Right,
I never knew.
Thank
That's- you
God,
get what I'm
Judge.
saying?
Say
I
something.
wanted to know. You didn't know
Jeez.
until afterwards.
It's like,
Am I right?
yes.
Okay.
It's this one instance. I was asleep. Why you didn't tell me? He said, Mom.
You slept the whole 9 months. You said it happened 9 months, dummy.
My son ran out and grabbed my hand. He was 6 and he was doing like this, trying to wake me up. Stephen was grabbing him back by the back of
Girl,
his shirt. Pulling me,
bye.
and I said, why didn't you just scream out? He said, I don't know. You get what I'm saying? He even had my hand pulling on me, trying to wake me up. And since I'm a hard sleeper. I
Now the
didn't wake
6-year-old
up.
told her that I was holding
So
your
to hear
hand,
my
Mama.
son say that
I was
to
trying
me
to wake
was
you up, Mama.
of it.
I was doing everything I can, but so and so was grabbing me by the back, Mama. He's 6. What was you in a drunken stupor? He had to pull you, grab your hand, shake you, whatever. This lady is crazy. She's where she needs to be. I know she needs to be in a mental institution.
That shit happened right up under my nose. So, man, I don't regret none of this. I don't regret any of it. It's my son. That's my baby. There's no way that his brother and sister should know what he feels like inside. There's no way.
Understood.
I don't feel.
I will say that she's also a victim of this. This went on in her life for years. She was sent from foster home to foster home to foster home. And in that time, she was SA'd. She was SA'd by the mother's boyfriend. That's how she got removed from the house. So she might have been, I don't think there's no record of her going to seek any type of therapy or her foster care parents there was nothing. It was like, just here, take you from mom because of this SA, put you into this house, you was SA'd, took you from that house, you was SA'd. So she had her own demons.
No remorse for the death of them demons.
Okay. All right. I'm going to accept the plea unless either counsel's dissatisfied. Oh, medical examiner's report. Go ahead.
Your Honor, the medical examiner report for Stephen BLAIR is Joint People and Defense Exhibit number 1. It's dated March 27, 2015. The medical examiner's report for Stoney and Blair is Joint People and Defendant Exhibit number 2, all dated March 27, 2015.
Okay. They're accepted and they're good.
Your
Go ahead.
Honor, I'm wondering if Ms. Blair ever called the police to report it.
Can you answer that question?
Why is she asking?
We're just trying to make a clear record.
You mean to report what they had done? No.
What they had done to
No. But after I found out about Stephen, even before I started hitting him, I did actually call the police on advice, and I told them like a hypothetical situation, like because I was scared, like, you get what I'm saying, what's going to happen with my other two. I definitely didn't want to lose. And I was definitely about to leave after that just happened, but I called the police and I'm asking them in a case where it's one brother that's been raping the other, what can be done? Will they take both kids out of the home? And he said, well, actually, yes, they would take both kids out of the home, but this is a case for CPS. And they said, did that happen to you? And I said, no, it's actually a friend. He said, the best thing I can do is tell you to call CPS and they can guide you further on what to do. And they said, but basically it has to be an investigation, so both will be taken out of home. You get what I'm saying?
I
So,
understand.
and how they manipulate, I was their mother. I was their mother. So if they can manipulate me, no.
Did
No. And I was not letting Stoney go anywhere. I'm glad. I actually was going to turn myself in right after Stephen died. And I told
You
my
should
son
have. You should
that,
have.
you know, I got to go, and I got to go turn myself into the police. I got to go turn myself in. And he said, turn yourself into what? And I said, turn myself into the police. That means I got to go because I killed somebody. And then he said, I don't want you to go. When he said that, that was it. So I put Stephen in the freezer, and I said, I'm going to stay with my kids as long as possible. And I'm glad I did, because if I had not have done that, I would not have found out about Stoney. You see what I'm saying? So everything happened how it was meant to happen.
Okay.
She could have been right with him, fooling everybody. And my son end would have been totally ruined.
Your Honor, I have in my hand the postmortem report for Stoney Ann Blair and for Stephen Gage Berry, and the prosecutor and I are using it as both joint exhibits of Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2, and we tendered them to the court
Okay. I'll accept them.
to help you make a determination on a factual basis.
The medical examiner's reports have been accepted as 1 and 2, and they are consistent with the testimony that was just provided by Ms. Blair. I believe there's a sufficient factual basis to accept the plea at this point. Counsel, are either counsel aware of any promises, threats, or inducements that were not disclosed on this record?
The people are not.
Defense is not, Your Honor.
Are counsel satisfied that the court has complied with the court rules?
The people are.
Defense is.
Okay. I'll accept the plea. I'll accept the plea as knowing, accurate, and voluntary. And we have a sentencing date. In this case, it would be 2 weeks from today, which takes us to July 13th. Is that good for you, Mr. Harris?
I have a question about that. I'm still in the middle of a family trial, and I go tomorrow, it's supposed to be for closing, and the 27th for best interest. So will that interfere with that?
Nope, this is a separate proceeding.
13th is fine, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
It's not gonna work for us.
Listen, you guys. I don't know why they just didn't sentence her right then and there. But we're going to keep going into this. Let me show you how mental this lady is. Hold on, y'all. We are going to come on. Let me put this up here. I'll go back over here. And we want to remove this. Yeah, remove this. We're going to see what the daddies, because I found the daddies just now. That's what I'll be doing while I'm watching this. I'm still researching and trying to figure out where these fathers are. Where are they now? Okay. So this is. Y'all ready? That's not what I want y'all to be ready for. I need to change that. I don't like that anymore. It's ugly. Okay, anyway. Here we go. Here we go.
And tonight, the father of the teenage girl found in her mother's freezer is talking only to 7 Action News. He wanted to get his side of the story out So he called our Kim Russell to talk.
I bet he did.
2 years. I had to tell my ex. She was never there. And she's sitting right there. She was sitting right there.
Alex Dorsey says he didn't understand why Michelle BLAIR suddenly stopped letting him take his 2 daughters for visits 2 years ago until this week.
Oh.
That's when police found one of their 2 daughters and BLAIR's son dead in a freezer in her apartment. BLAIR allegedly confessed to killing her son Stephen in 2012 and their daughter Stoney in 2013.
He was sitting right there. Lord mercy, he was sitting right there.
Dorsey says
I'm not trying to be insensitive, Dad. But I just believe that there's a lot of fathers that don't have that fight to the end. Because if you fought to the end, your daughter would still be here. Because you would have went to court, you would have gotten visitation, you would have put yourself on child support, and by law, you get every other weekend, they get every other summer, Christmas, and when you start noticing that they're not abiding by the freaking petition, something's not right. So now you're like, yo, where's my child? So, with these crocodile tears, Daddy, I'm sorry.
BLAIR would tell him Stoney, who would have been 15 now, wasn't home. He would talk to his oldest daughter, who is now 17, at the door.
So Mom said you can't come in.
7 months ago is when Alex Dorsey says he last came to this porch that is now turned into a makeshift memorial. He says his daughter's mother wouldn't let him see his girls because he didn't have money. He had lost his job.
He's paying his child support until he lost his job. It wasn't like he didn't try.
The state is now trying to take away his rights to his 17-year-old daughter. A petition says he abandoned his girls, failed to take legal action to obtain parenting time, and owes $39,000 in child support.
I agree with
How
that.
hard is it to hear them say you should have done more?
Yep, I believe so.
It ain't hard at all, because I already know I'm supposed to do it.
One moment, this Detroit man is angry at the state. He says his family reported concerns to CPS in years past, but it only caused problems as the kids were given back to their mom. The next moment, he is full of regret, wondering what if.
It's my fault.
Yeah, it is.
My fault.
Yeah, you're right. It's your fault, Dad. Yes, it's your fault. Yeah.
One thing Dorsey wants his surviving daughter, who
She looked
police
just
say
like her
endured
daddy.
years of abuse, to know.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
In Detroit, Kim Russell, 7 Action News.
Listen, it's definitely his fault. Hold on, there was another. Hold on, is this the one I wanted to show? No. Okay, now this is her sentencing. Let's get into her sentencing, okay?
Praise your mom.
Listen, you guys, thank you guys so much for coming on. I'm seeing the views, and I'm really excited. And thank you guys. So like, share, and subscribe to my channels on my YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, Kick, Twitch, and X. So just listen, don't meet me there, beat me there. As content starts rolling in, like I said, I have a sub channel. I'm working on that as well. It's Viral Vibes Investigates with Jocelyn. So I'm excited. I'm all into this. So I'm hoping that displaying these cases is just awareness to make people not feel so uncomfortable with reporting things that don't seem right. Because you may report something and it's perfectly fine, and that's okay. You send somebody to my house, they're not going to find nothing. So I'm like, okay, I understand. You saw something was a little, but you may send it to the right house and you may save a child. You may save someone vulnerable. So that's why I put these out there. So hopefully you lower the threshold of picking up the phone when you're seeing something that does not look right to you. All right. And then Gwinnett County Jail, of course. Crazy. Let's go ahead though. Hold on.
All right. Calling case number 15005121, the People versus Michelle Blair. This matters before the court for sentencing.
Characters, please.
Karen Goldfarb, Your Honor, appearing on behalf of the people.
Go ahead, Mr. Harris.
Good morning, Your Honor. Wyatt Harris, P54891, on behalf of Michelle Blair. She stands to my right.
Okay, Mr. Harris, have you had an opportunity to go over the pre-sentence report with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Any additions, corrections, or deletions?
There are none, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything from the people, any victim impact statements to be made? I will state for the record that I did receive a statement from Alexander Dorsey. Is that correct? It says, Dear Alexander Dorsey, but is this a statement from Alexander Dorsey?
Your Honor, it is a statement from Alexander Dorsey, who is the father of one of the deceased children, and Stoney, and one of the surviving children. And it is also a statement that combines some other members of Mr. Dorsey's family statements.
Okay. All right, I just wanted to make that.
And for the record, I did provide a copy of that to Mr. Harris.
Okay.
I acknowledge receipt.
Any other victim impact statements from the people?
Only, Your Honor, I want the record to be clear that there is no evidence in this case that any of the younger children or the younger child was sexually abused. Abundant evidence that the surviving children were physically abused by this defendant.
That's a lie. My son owned my...
Hold on. No, Ms. Blair. You noticed the speaker that we had set up in the back. If you can't behave yourself,
I understand it.
Okay,
She's trying to say that in
listen. You're going to get an opportunity to speak. If you can't behave yourself, I'm going to put you in the back. We'll finish our portion of the proceeding. I can bring you back out here to speak, because you're going to get an opportunity. But if you interrupt people, I have to put you in the back. So it's just this one. Okay.
The
Go
judge
ahead,
is
Ms. Goldfarb.
finally speaking
That's
up.
the evidence, Your Honor. No physical
I guess she was
evidence
letting her
that
dig
that younger
herself.
child was physically abused. No eyewitness to physical abuse, or sexual abuse in that child, but abundant evidence that he was physically abused, as was his surviving sister, by this defendant. People have nothing else.
Okay. Mr. Harris, is there anything you'd like to say before I give your client an opportunity to speak?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
I have had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Blair over a couple months. Her story has not changed. It has been consistent as to the sexual abuse that her younger son admitted, and the other two children who are now deceased have indicated that they committed on this young boy. So I don't know where the prosecutor is getting that this didn't happen, because they did not interview the younger boy. I will indicate to this court, and believe me, I don't justify Ms. Blair's actions. It can't be justified, and she understands that. But this is a horrible situation in which you have an individual who was abused as a young child, experienced hardships, lack of education, had children. Children did some unspeakable things to each other. With the lack of support that she had as a child, and the lack of support that she had from any of the
Baby daddies?
fathers of these people, and I'm not making an excuse for her, but that didn't allow her to cope with the situation in a way that many of us would have obviously chosen different options.
I do get that.
What angers me the most, I think, is no way in the world, as a father, I would allow anybody to not let me see my children for years. There are always options.
Yeah, I
They
agree
could have
with that.
asked for a welfare check with the police.
Yep, I agree
Could
with
have
that.
went back to CPS.
Yep.
Could have went to the school system. Could have done a number of things. I suspect, in all reality, it wasn't a situation.
I will say, what he is saying, I agree 100%. If you got the type of baby mama, because I'm not going to call them a mother, because a mother would not withhold their children from a father that is willing to be this, just that. So, baby mama, that's when you earn the baby mama name. If you have one that is doing this, you have to step in, you have to step up. And it's unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. You know, you got to go to court. You don't want to waste money on lawyers. I get it. But at the end, it will make the child more stable and more mentally sound. It's just, it does something to the child to be able to have their daddy in their life and the baby mama. Like I said, they coin baby mamas. When you withhold your child from a willing father, you just a baby mama. You ain't no mother, because a mother wouldn't do that. Mother's picking up the phone like when you come and get your kids, because mama need a life too. That was me. Come get these jokers. But I'm just saying, it's unfortunate, you got to waste money to be, it's just a horrible thing. Men, just vet who you lay down with. And women, guess what? I have the key to free contraceptives. I promise you, it works every time. Close them. Keep them closed. None going in, none coming out. I promise you. All right, let's keep going. This woman should have been into a freaking pretzel. This lady's so crazy.
Where Michelle Blair was saying you couldn't see the children. It was a situation where they chose not to see the children. Over 2 years, you don't get to see your child. That makes absolutely no sense.
No.
If you really wanted to see your child, you could go to the court.
Yep.
I understand that there were child support issues. Go to the court. So yeah, I know I owe child support, but yes.
Yes, sir.
I understand that, but I still haven't seen my child, and I want to know what the situation is with my children.
I agree with it.
This is an unfortunate, very unfortunate situation.
Ladies, let me tell you something. If you ever get into this situation, a lot of us have been there. When you go down to court, I promise you, this is what you do first. Go to court, get visitation before you start trying to line your pockets. Get your visitation order in first. And then from there, the judge is like, oh, wow. She willing to, that's what I did. The lady said to me, you don't want your child support? No, because I know how being in a relationship with their dad is more valuable than any dollar ever. Trust me. And I can take care of my kids financially, but I need them to have a relationship with their father, because I had a relationship with my daddy. My daddy been there for, he's still here. He's still daddy. So I know how important it was. So that was very important to me. Money can come later. Get down there, ladies. Do that. Get your visitation orders in place.
Ms. Blair has made her statements both here and in juvenile, and on several occasions to me. I would just, as the court has to, sentence her to life in prison without parole. She is accepting responsibility for her actions. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Blair, this is the time and date set for sentencing. Is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
They said they want to make an impact statement. I actually want to make a statement to them.
Go. This is the time for you to say anything you want. Go ahead.
Okay. I actually got a chance to, my lawyer actually read the impact statement to me, and there's been a lot of lies told by that family. What doesn't make sense, they're saying that his main defense in my family trial, that I kept him away from the kids, which is a lie. Tracy, Dorsey, Alexander Dorsey, Curtis Steen, Albert, Adam, Michelle. They haven't seen them how long? Since 2006. Alexander Dorsey went from 2008, 9, and 10 without seeing his daughters. So it's 6 of them as brothers and sisters, the aunties and uncles. And they want to talk about how they loved my daughters. Now they want to be front and center, but they was always in the background. They never did anything for them, never showed up to my door, not once. And now they want to lie and say that I kept them away. I am the one that was always calling Duke. That's his nickname. Duke, come see Gabby and Stoney. Duke, come do this. Duke, come do this. Would he come? No. Half the time he was drunk. You get what I'm saying? I am the only one throughout both these cases. I haven't lied about anything. As horrendous as everybody think I am, that's fine. But I'm the only one that's not lying about anything. And that doesn't even make sense in any type of world that they would allow. What type of real man gonna let somebody keep them away from their kids? And what I don't understand, what they don't understand about is, we have a surviving daughter. Gabrielle is witness to me always calling, dude, come see the kids. Dude, even their mother, Linda Dorsey, she never did anything for the kids. She never came to see them. She never did anything. My daughter even called one year to talk to her about Duke and his drinking. She tired of every time he come over, he drunk. And when he comes, it's just, hey, baby, spilling over, just drunk, just stupid. You get what I'm...
You guys, listen. As we listen to this confession, please, I want to say, please pay attention to her tone. She is angry. And it wasn't those children that were making her angry. She was angry because she felt like she was a single mother. Listen, her wording and what she's choosing to emphasize, listen deeply. She feels abandoned. See, and that's why it's so important to get down there and put your orders in and allow it to become what it's going to become. But don't be in this situation where this lady can literally sit here and say, they never tried. He never tried. He never tried to go to court. He never tried to do A, B, C, and D. Because at the end of the day, guess what? He didn't. So now because listen, you guys, sometimes what is not said speaks the loudest. That's why I always say, never allow no one to tell your story. Because when you allow someone to tell your narrative, you get the book that you get. You didn't want to speak up, so the book that you're in, you're just in it, and you may be the villain, and it's no one's fault but the person that didn't speak up. Oh, Lord, let me finish this so I can go to bed. Michelle Blair done drained me the past 4 days, y'all. Let's keep going.
I'm saying, as a grandmother, you would think that she would talk to her granddaughter. The only thing, my daughter put it on speakerphone, the only thing that grandmother had to say was, well, baby, I'm going to let you go because Duke is still my son and I'm not going to listen to you talk.
I'm going to have to stop there. I'm sorry, y'all, because she is so right. My mama passed away, and my youngest daughter every night will call my mother. My youngest daughter can really sing, when she's a little girl. So my mother would call. Even if me and my mother was going at it, she would like, put my granddaughter on the phone. So my daughter would call. She would talk to my daughter. My daughter would sing her a song before she go to bed. But the night that she passed away, my daughter had fell asleep. You know what I'm saying? This is the bond that you weave together when you enter into a very strong family. This just wouldn't happen in mine. It just wouldn't happen. My uncle, he calls or texts every 2 days. He's almost 70. Just call and check on the girls. Tell your husband I love him. That is the family that we are. We don't have problems, issues. We don't fight. We don't fuss. We do nothing. So be careful in the family you walk into. If it's not like yours, hightail it. Hightail it, y'all. Hightail it.
Talk to him about, that's your granddaughter, and she coming to you about your son. That's all you had to offer her. You get what I'm saying? From the time I lived in that house, what they're not saying is, they used to always go over there. I kept you away. What was the change? They used to go over there all the time. What stopped and what they all know to be true is Alexander Dorsey's father, Alexander Sr., they say he molested Brianna. That is his other granddaughter, okay? So in 2006, when my daughter Gabrielle came home and told me that he was laying in their room on the floor by their bed, they never went back again. That's what stopped every visit to their house in 2006. I never sent them back there again because of that reason. But I never kept them away from them. Y'all can come see them any.
I get that. Because I'm going to tell you, my babies ain't going nowhere. My babies are adults, and they will tell you they've never had a sleepover, stayed at a babysitter. They've never, when I had my babies, I knew my life was over. Ain't no more partying, clubbing, movies, dinners, nothing. I'm full throttle mom. So that I get. If I even heard a whisper Yeah, I get that. So I agree with you, Michelle. I agree with you on this one. You ain't all bad, but you're crazy, girl. You're crazy.
Time you want to. You see what I'm saying? And also, Alexander Dorsey could not accept the fact that I moved on, period. I had other kids. He has his ex-girlfriend, Michelle Barnett, lying in court, saying they bought diapers. The first time that Michelle Barnett laid eyes on my daughters was in, 2005? They were 6 and 8, which means they were well out of diapers. They're talking about food and money. Come on now. They did nothing.
You're getting off track here, and I know.
Yeah, she venting now. Let her vent. Let her vent. Let her get off her chest.
Yes, because I'm not trying to blame any of the actions that the kids did on the fathers. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
My whole thing is, tell the truth. Y'all wasn't there. This whole family, I'm seeing faces that I ain't seen in years. They don't know Stoney. When they asked.
She's saying, basically, I'm not blaming them, but they could have done more. That's what she's saying. They could have done more. And guess what? They could have. So they are just as much at fault with this whole scenario. I always say, if you're in a bad relationship, somebody got to be the adult. Someone has got to say, this ish is wrong. And if I continue to be in this situation, I'm just as crazy as you are. Somebody got to walk away and save the kids and save everybody's sanity. I'm not going to spiral and let you, this dysfunctional person, what? I will never in my life understand this ish. I try not to curse because my nieces and nephews be on here and I don't want to. Listen, I don't understand these people. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Let's keep going, y'all.
Him in court, what is your daughter Stoney wanted to be when she grew up? He says she just wanted the world. That's a typical answer for a father who knew nothing about what she wanted to be when she grew up. He knew nothing about her. They know that he's a pissy drunk. They do nothing. And for Tracy Dorsey to be sitting in this courtroom, this is the same female that I felt like I had to get out that house. We all had babies 2 months apart. You used to steal her. You love your niece, but you used to steal her milk. You used to steal her milk and water it down when I told you can have it, though. You get what I'm saying? So, yes, that is why I left that household. I couldn't stay there.
Again,
they were
you're
pathetic.
getting off track, though. This is the purpose of you speaking now is to discuss
Okay.
what you did, if you want
Yes,
to.
because that happened. You get what I'm saying? In my son's forensic kids talk interview, you hear him tell him what they did to him. So in Alexander Dorsey, in the family trial, he sat there and he saw the kids talk interview. He saw my son say that. The judge even said, out of my son's own mouth, everyone heard him say what they did to him. So for them to be sitting there, oh, you just did that because of, yeah, I got my ass beat when I was a kid. Yes, I was raped when I was a child. Am I blaming that on them? No. This should happen to my kid. You get what I'm saying? Alexander's daughter, Stoney, that is not my daughter. She did do that to them. So it's like, get back. That whole Dorsey family, they're pathetic. And I feel like this. You know flat out that Alexander Dorsey, y'all let this Alexander Dorsey, you let him come back and forth and be around them kids when you know damn well he molested one granddaughter before.
It wasn't about Alexander Dorsey.
Everybody's making about me saying that I kept him away from the kids. I never did.
I see what she's trying
So
to prove.
that'll come out July 27th when my daughter get up there. So I don't know why
She's
acting like it's not going
that.
to come out.
This isn't about Alexander Dorsey. Do you have anything?
I'm talking
She's
about his
proving her
father.
case.
They're
Yeah.
trying to say, you know how I kept him away? I stopped those visits
These are the
because that
reason
man
why.
was in that house. If he was already, basically, you knew what he did to his granddaughter, Brianna. So why even let him in the house? Just because he blamed it on being a drunk? Come on now. Like father, like son. Come on,
Stay
man.
focused here. Do you have anything else you want to say with respect to this case?
I want to say, this prosecutor, I can't see her face, but I wish I could. You discussed me. The Dorsey family discussed me. Because how dare you say that didn't happen to my son? You weren't there. Y'all was never there. You were the absentee people. Always. So the Dorsey family, down to the mother, to the father, to everybody. I hope y'all live your life well without seeing my child, Gabrielle Blair. You lived well without seeing them throughout their whole life, so live well now. But you ain't got nothing to say to me for what I did for my child, period.
All right. Ms. Blair, it's obvious that you're still very angry.
Because how dare she say that? How dare she say it's no evidence?
It's my turn to talk. It's my turn to talk. I gave you an opportunity to speak. As a mother, one of your primary responsibilities was to protect your kid. And in that respect, you failed in the worst possible way. There's nothing that can be done at this point to change what happened.
True, that's why I'm asking for life.
I know. And thankfully, that house of horrors that you created is no longer in existence. I do pray that your remaining children
They will.
recover
They will.
from what they saw and endured in that household. What struck me as rather unnerving was that you stated that your kids got it better than what you had. I fail to see how that's possible when you're still here.
You're talking about
here.
the deceased children?
No. Let me talk. It's you. Despite what happened to you when you were a child, you had the opportunity to grow up.
True.
You had the opportunity to become an adult. You had the opportunity to make your own decisions with respect to running your own life. And you were blessed with 4 children. Stoney and Stephen are never going to have that. They don't have those same opportunities. And when I think about all of the possible joys that they could be missing.
You know, all I can say is, what made her become the judge and the jury for these children? You cannot pick your mom. You just can't. And it's very, very sad. But you know what? Dad could have picked your mom. It's just a fact. Dad could have picked your mother.
Out on one thing that strikes me as the greatest tragedy here is that they will never know what a life is like without experiencing fearing their mother. They will never know the joy of what could have been in their life without having you in it. They lived in terrible fear of you. And I find that just so sad in this case. After all is said and done, you imposed the death penalty on your own children.
I did.
And you readily admit it, and you want to take responsibility of it. You're therefore sentenced to the Michigan Department of Corrections for the rest of your life without the possibility of parole, meaning, of course, that you will never get out. You will receive credit for 115 days. You must pay $60 DNA fee, $136 state costs, crime victims assessment in the amount of $130, court costs in the amount of $1,300, attorney's fees in the amount of $400. These are not consecutive sentences because you weren't advised of that at the plea taking procedure. Since this was a conviction by plea, though, ma'am, you have the right to file an application for leave to appeal your conviction.
I don't need any of that.
Okay, with the Court of Appeals, I still have to advise you, if you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you and furnished with the necessary transcripts, and that request must be made within 42 days.
I tender
And, Your Honor,
Oh, go ahead.
with,
We were going to address it after. Mr. Harris, go ahead.
I am tendering to the court the appellate rights and wrote in the signature area refused and put my initials.
Okay, and that's fine. The people still have remaining counts in the information. Go ahead, Ms. Goldfarb.
Your
I
Honor,
need it.
with regard to the information, the people would move to dismiss without prejudice count 2, count 3, or no, excuse me, count 2 and 3 are what she pled to. Count 1, count 4, count 5, count 6, count 7, count 8, count 9, count 10, and count 11 of the information. And again, we are moving to dismiss without prejudice.
No objection.
Of course. All right, motion granted.
You can step back.
Thank you.
To be honest with you guys, I'm glad that's over. Because there is no one simple answer. There's no simple answer to this. So, this is what happened. All I'm saying is, families, be more involved in situations. Have that low threshold of picking up the phone and reporting things. Because this family knew. Dads, stop sleeping with anything. I heard one lady say on TikTok, a man will sleep with a turkey. Come on now, y'all got to do more better. If you want your children to respect you as a father and a dad, You have to pick someone who respects their father as a father or a dad. You just can't go and have children with women who have absentee fathers. She doesn't know how important it is for your child's heart and their mental. Come on now, we have to be smarter. Let me tell you something. This case was long and draining, but I'm glad to know that none of this happened to her children. Her kids weren't doing anything to each other. They weren't. They were doing nothing but living in fear of their mother, who had all these issues prior to, and she snapped. She snapped. All right, you guys, tomorrow, like I said, I do these cases because it's just a weirdness, and hoping that people would, be more hypervigilant to reporting cases like this, because if someone said something about these children, maybe the outcome wouldn't be the outcome that we are sitting here watching today on Viral Vibe Studio. But you guys, listen, make sure you subscribe, share, set your notifications. I am on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Kick, and Patreon, where on Patreon you can get the full video, uncensored, uncut, because YouTube, I don't know. I'd be a little weary with YouTube because I don't want them to shut me down. So I'm making this sub channel. But anyway, this is needed. So thank you guys for joining in with me. And I will see you guys tomorrow with a new case.